Commissioner of the City of Mount Juliet will have a presentation on July 22nd from 2024 to 5:15 to 6 with Mr. Edsel Charles from MarketGraphics Research Group to discuss the following items: the 5 economic and social effects that can affect the county or city if certain policies are adopted, housing market in Wilson County over the next 5 years, retirees and housing, economic forecast for county and housing. The public is invited to attend and comment. So at this point, I'd like to open the floor. If there's anyone here for citizen comments, give you an opportunity to address the Board of Commissioners. All right, seeing none for citizen comments, we'll close the citizen comments portion. Without objection, I'll just turn the floor over to you, Mr. Charles.
Well, I appreciate you letting me come. I don't know if this thing is on. Is it on? Yeah. I was just commenting. I turned 80 and a half years old, right? And so I'm still working 50, 60 hours a week. And at my age, I can just about get away with anything. And so if I get a little close to the edge, we're okay. You'll be just fine. We are in 16 states. We are the largest market research company in the United States. My wife and I own the company. And I have 2 favorite mayors. And that's not saying that to suck up to you. I'm not doing that. The city administrators kind of thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, this city is managed well. I really, really mean that. I think Kenny and I have been going back a long ways. And but Hutto, as in the county, is absolutely the prince of princes. I don't understand how they lucked out with this guy. So how you can possibly have people like that? I've been here for an hour, walking around this place, and it's clean, it's organized, it's neat. Things are in place. I've been sneaking around places I shouldn't have looked, right? But if it's well, everything's in decent and order, right? It tells you how they organize and how they run a place. Tells you a lot about that. Let me tell you what we do. We are in all these 16 states. We physically pull all the courthouse records every 4 months in all the cities we're in. On the East Coast, we are tracking 720 miles of subdivisions from St. Augustine south to Jacksonville, Florida, to the city limits of D.C. We drive and count every subdivision every 4 months, everywhere, in 16 states. And the reason we do that is nobody else is stupid enough to do that. And so we drive and we hand count. So our data, we get no data from no one else. We pull all the courthouse records. We track all your planning commission activity, all your agendas, all the time. We've been doing that for numerous years. We have tracked all the planning commissions in all these states and all these cities, all these burgs, all the time. And so we know what's coming everywhere. We have a feeling for it. And we don't even our charts, nothing we have is from somebody else. So I'm coming in front of you here with having audited this county for 34 years every 4 months. I just think about that. I try not to be for or against anything. I don't try to do that. Probably a little bit in the political side, you know what I mean? For the presidential, probably a little bit there. I think they're a little bit nuts, but that's besides the point. So I want to just do something. I decided I'm not going to come do what's normal. These are my friends here, for God's sakes. My daughter lives just down the street. I got people that work for me, live here. And I just love the people here. I just jump around. I want to show you some things that I come here, I think, to help you. I'm hoping I can do that because I think that there's something going on that after Dale Webb kind of closed up shop, and finished up, I would have liked to talk them into coming back, but they couldn't come back for their own reasons. I talked them into going to Murray County. Next, well, now they're sold out there. And so my son just sold them their next site right off of Highway 96 going out of Williamson County into Rutherford. My son did that. It's over 1,000 lots, and they're about to add another 300-400 the way they were pulling some lots sort of back in. So but we have with Wilson County, we drive and count everything every 4 months. I decided to give you the end of the story. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and then I'm going to jump off to something else, and I'm going to be done in my 40 minutes. If they give me 45, I'm trying to do it in 40. Let me just take us out of here. This is Wilson County, the whole of the county. We do 11 counties in all of our market. I do Montgomery County separate. You know why? Because Clarksville, Montgomery County, it has to be done separate because of the military. Their movement of military screws up all my charts. I tell you what I did. I believe that the base commander at the 101st intentionally moves troops around, intentionally to screw up my charts. I think that dirtbag does it on purpose. So here's what we're at today. Let me tell you how current this is. This is our June report. We just got through driving all of Wilson County, all the counties. We do 5, 6, 7 cities a month. Ongoing. We have out there right today 237 finished unoccupied homes in this county. I don't want more than 199. That's not too bad now. That's only over by some 38 in the whole county. But for somebody to tell me we need to push a lot of more stuff out there right now, no, we need to just kind of hang loose a little bit because we're coming into a better time, but not quite. The place that we are overbuilding in the county right now happens to be between 325 and about 610,000. For instance, in the 325, 425 home and lot price range, we have 72 finished unoccupied homes, but I don't want more than 57. The good news is that we're getting better. Just 8 months ago, I had 98 finished unoccupied homes. 4 months ago, I had 91, and today I got 72. We're actually getting better. So the market is straightening out there. It's going to get better. There's going to be more stuff put in the ground. And in the 425, 625 range, I have 89 finished unoccupied homes. That's getting worse. 8 months ago, I had 53. 4 months ago, 67. And today, 89. It's just reverse. Now, if you can build under 325, just go do it. You don't need to talk to me. And if you can build over 625, there's a little pocket in some places that works. But there's the builders in the county, every one of them, I can get away with that. See, every builder in the county does not build by running to people, running to the market. They run to the deal. And then they bring the public to the deal. So I wish there was a better way where they could try to find out where people wanted to live, where they wanted to do, what they, but that's not how that industry, which I come from, does things. Let me tell you another part. If you take a look at all of Wilson County, right over here, this is a 3-year picture of closings. That's the economic position of this county in the residential world. This is only new construction. This has nothing to do with existing homes. This right over here, these 2 lines right here are all of this. That's the caution range. And here on the bottom, the orange is speculative building. Let me show you. When the speculative building touches the yellow line, I get concerned. When it gets between the yellow and the red, builders start having a hard time making any money. When it gets above the red, they go broke. Not all of them, but a lot. Well, we are way down here, and the right here has been the speculative rate for 3 years. This right here is what I think is coming next con. We are just right over here. Let me do this. Let me take you to each part of the county, and then let me tell you about what I think is going on with interest rates. Right over here is the West Wilson County market, west of 109. I like that part of the world a lot. We're here. Actually, the trend is right through here. That's where we're headed. And the speculative rate is down here. We're not near the caution range. We are closing and moving in families today at 524 a year. A year ago, moving at 429. We're moving in 100 more a year today than we were a year ago. You would think that wouldn't be true. I mean, it's absolutely quite amazing. What about the Lebanon world? And it does like so right here. And a year ago, moving at 1156 rate in the Lebanon world. Today is 797. So parts of the west of 109 is actually up. The Lebanon market's actually off. It's not that it's not doing bad. We're not overbuilding. It's just not building as many. So we have now the rest of the county, which is not Lebanon and not west of 109, but the rest of the county. And that is like this coming off. It's just, there's more and more going on in the rest of the county, but it's still country. A year ago, moving at a 327 rate. Today, we're moving at a 220 rate. I just want to take you now. I'll pass Rutherford. And I did some marking on here a while ago just to answer a question that somebody's going to ask you, watch. But you won't have to ask now. And I went all the way over past Murray, Marshall, and Bedford, and I came to a particular chart right here. Wilson County, on my hot dog little chart you see right over here, today has 2,075 developed lots. He said, well, how do you know that? No, you don't understand. I have all the plats. I tied it all to your records and all to your planning commission records, and we hand count it and we drive it every 4 months. There's 2,075. He said, could it be 2,076? Of course there could, right? You could be off a couple. Let's just leave that alone for a second. I think between now and the end of 24, I'm talking about the whole county now, we're going to use 1,056. We can separate these pieces out here. Well, if you look at what's coming here, I think at 25, we're going to build 1,874 houses in 1923, 1964, 2013, and in 29, I think we'll be up to 2,056. I think we're going to be building on an annual basis about 200 more than we're building right now. I think between now and the end of 29, including the rest of this year, we're going to build 10,886 homes in this county. I know you say, well, that just seems to be an awful lot, right? Well, let me just come back and give you another thought. If you were to ask the question, if we took in consideration how many we're going to build, and at the end of 29, I need to have a 2.5-year supply. Why 2.5 years? Because it takes 2.5 years to go through a process. Time you look for land, put it under contract, go through all of that, go to the planners, city hall, whatever. Take it to the city council, pay off the councilman under the table, take it your water and sewer. I'm just teasing with you. All the way over here to put the lot on the ground. To go through that whole process. You know how long it's taken 27 months here. And which is fine. I had to tell you, I have an opinion. All the cities, by the way, in Middle Tennessee and all of our cities, I do stuff for the cities free. I just try to pitch in. And what you have here in this county is a reputation, I think, of being reasonable, not always cooperative, but reasonable is the word I like. And I don't have to be unreasonable. I just want to be reasonable, which doesn't mean they always agree. You know, sometimes the developer or the builders is a dirtbag, you know. You got a question? Yes.
Did you come up with the needed? What's behind the numbers on your needed?
That's a great question. It's a forecast, right? It's the demand. Because we have an audit. I have every 4 months, I have everything that everybody's doing in every subdivision on every build. Listen, I have every permit pulled by every builder, by every subdivision, by every county, by every part of every county every month. I have all that every month. So that's a great start. You have all the audits. We have all the stuff going on. It's all we know what's going on. Well, it's from there, we are reasonably decent at forecasting. We think that we're the best in the country, actually, based on what we've done. And so those numbers coming out of our forecasting, we forecast by county, by part of county, by price range, for developed lots, for houses, 2 separate categories of development and home building. And that's where those numbers come from. The good news is this. Every 4 months, I know what the public is doing. I know what the builders are doing. So we reforecast every 4 months and we adjust. We tend to we're pretty close ongoing. It's just little tweaking that we have to do ongoing. So is that okay, the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let me just tell you this. Let's suppose that somebody asks you the question, and you said, we would like to just meet what the market is, whatever the market is. In the next 65 months, rest of this year and 5 more years, how many lots do we have to approve right here? I'm not here to tell you nothing. You asked me to come. Here I am, right? So you would have to approve 212 lots per month, every month for the next 65 months, just to stay even with the market demand. That's the demand in Wilson County right now. How did I get that? Well, I know I'm going to build 10,886 houses. I know at the end of 29, I need to have a 2.5-year supply. And I know I've got to take off 2,075 lots I got. And I take all 3 of those things in consideration. I have to come up with 212 lots per month for the next 65 months. Actually, you need to come up with 13,761 developed. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. And I think that we've had Del Webb here, but what's disappointing to me is there is such a lack of dealing with the old people all over Middle Tennessee. I think we are doing such a poor job of zoning and helping and putting product on the ground and subdivisions for the old people. I just honestly believe that. So I tell you what I'm telling all the builders and banks and everybody we do, but last time we checked, we had 181 banks that were clients. And so I tell everybody, look, I got a stock tip for you. Here's a stock tip, stock market. Buy stock in companies that sell towels, because these old people who spent all their money and time and effort building all these counties and have gotten older and they don't want to have to leave now are going to stay in that big house because they can't move down some places like Brentwood. And they're going to buy towels and put them underneath the doors upstairs so they can close up the upstairs. So towels are going to be a big deal. So let me do this now. I'm going to show you. This is going out now to 2030. Goes back to 2000, and we were here in 2000 right here on May 14th, 2000 at 8:30 in the morning on a weekend. We put a forecast down that was never adjusted or tweaked. And we have almost 5,000 companies today and over the years that we've given that to. And it says right here that we would see the market peak at 2006. Well, we were right here in that market, and then we would see it bottom in 9, and it was here. So we forecasted the downturn accurately here nationwide, actually, and we forecasted the bottom accurate to the month 9 years in advance. So where are we at? Well, we hit right here, and we've come back up, and this is all part of this world here, right? Because I just showed you the forecast here. COVID came in, and we went from 2019. We had a big bump under COVID because people were not listing their homes as much as they needed to. The existing home market fell off, and we needed new construction that stepped to the plate. And so the builders did that. Then they came back down. But here's the trend right here. Here's the trend that we've been following. And what's ironic is that we've come up, came down, and then we're back on trend here in 24, which is here. We're right back on trend. I put that gold bar on top in case Biden had the ability to throw some more money down a rat hole, and then we would lose market share because the Fed would have to print the money, and that's where inflation comes from. But he's not going to have that ability. I'm so happy.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you say homes, are you referring to single family homes? Or are you including condos, townhomes, apartments?
That's a really good question. I only deal in here we do studies for malls and stuff, but to answer your question, on the residential side, it's only for sale. If it's in a high-rise downtown, it's for sale, residential, I pick it up. If it's for rent, I don't pick it up. There's no for rent in here, and there's no existing homes in here. It's for sale product. Okay. So it's mostly single family in here in this county, mostly single family detached for sale. Let me now take you here. I think that in 2025 we're going to see this kind of thing here go on in Wilson County. I would be surprised if we don't see 1,874 homes that are built. Let me now do this. I'm going to go back way past all of this stuff here. I started at the end. I told you that I was going to do that. And I want to go back now all the way past all of these counties here. And I'm not going to go through all this. I would drive everybody nuts. And I'm going to take us way past. And I'm just going to pick some of these, and because then I want to come down to show you something that I think that you can be a real source of help in the market. I know it's way back, but you bear with me a little bit here. And I want to show you this. This is overall Middle Tennessee. Overall. But it's important for you to see this. If I was to go back 3 years ago, now remember, we're hand counting all the subdivisions, pulling all the plats, pretty much. I got a little thing of 5 lots. I probably might not pull it, something like that. And we're hand counting everything, tracking all your agendas on Planning Commission. Okay. We have right now 1,120 in Middle Tennessee. This is the 11 counties. It does not include Montgomery County. Remember, the base commander screws me up on purpose. Yeah. So this is 11 counties separate from Montgomery County. We have 1,127 subdivisions going right now that are started and not started. Of that number, 796 are started. So we are tracking some 300 plus or minus subdivisions that don't exist. Well, let's go back. So let's look at the first column. Go back with me 3 years for the overall market because it affects you here. In 1, 2, 3 years. 3 years ago, I had 1,228 subdivisions started and not started. Today, I have 1,127. So let's just say we dropped 100. In other words, in Middle Tennessee, I have 100 subdivisions today that are not in the pipeline from developers not coming. They're not there. I got all the records, okay? All the agendas. They're not, they don't exist. I have 100. In a market that's going to get better here within just a matter of a few months. When the United States people see we're not going to be socialists, which is by the end of August, you're going to see the market start turning. You mark my words, you watch. Let me take us here. Let's take a look now. So we dropped 100. Well, what about this here? 798. 3 years ago, we had 844 actually going subdivisions. Today, 796, whatever it is. So we've dropped some 50 subdivisions, 50 that have not been replaced. The development community has not replaced them. That's like a half of a county. Some places is almost a county of subdivisions out of the 11 counties that's just not there. They're not. They were there. We're putting people in homes. The lots are gone. They haven't been replaced. So then do we have the development capacity? Let's take a look at that. If you go back 10 years ago, we had 20,496 hand-counted lots. We've been doing this for over 30 years at Nashville, okay? Every 4 months. Today we have 18.4, but if you were honest about it and it took a little higher interest rates and considered that number would be 16,500 lots. So we would have dropped from 20,005 to 16.5. We would have dropped 4,000 some lots. Here's my conclusion. We don't have the development world wanting to play like they used to. They're not putting enough stuff in that's coming. It's inadequate. We don't have enough stuff on the ground. That's inadequate. I'm not talking about for making money or for building or developers or build. I'm not talking about that junk. I'm talking about just simply people being able to do something and buying something if they want to. I believe that all of our job is not dealing with the rich or poor or dealing with developers or builders or anybody. It's how do we take care of people? That's the only issue. And that includes way more than just putting the stupid lots on the ground and building houses. That's roads and that's traffic and that's all the issues. It's everything. The job you guys have got is awful job. I mean, how do you accommodate everybody? I don't know how you do that. So if you look at the development capacity, do we have the developers out there to put enough stuff in the pipeline? We don't. And to replace, and we don't. And then to actually put the lots on the ground, and we don't. That's gotten actually, it's going down. I just think that by the end of 25 into middle 26, we're going to have a real crisis with the availability of lots. I just got a call from Dwight Sanglin, one of the builders here out of Birmingham. Call me at home. And just want to talk about employment and a few other things. Everybody that I talk to agrees, probably about a year and a half, 2 years from now, we have a crisis coming with the availability of lots. It's going to be there. I don't know if there's anything you can do about it. Okay? It's not even you. You know what? It's not all the process you go through. It's none of that. We don't have the developers now that are wanting to play. It's just I don't know why. Let me take a look about the housing side here. We crested in the housing market here about 2 years and 4 months ago. At that time, we had about 1,800 more houses going. So we have our count has come down, and it was good that it did, because otherwise we would be tremendously overbuilding, and we were only a little bit overbuilding in some parts of the market. Let me just do this. I'm going to want to pass on all this statistics and not drive you nuts. I want to do this. I'm going to put this here. And I want to see, they said that they were going to put something on here for me. Let me just see if I could do that. Let me just see if I can pull this up. I think that I can. I want you to see something. Let me come back and tell you the story. I've only got about 5 or 6 more, then I'm going to leave it. But I want to tell this story. I just finished in another place. I do a fair amount of this, by the way, it's a favor. And they wanted to go in this other place at 1 lot per 5 acres. And I said, really? And I said, so you're trying to suck up to the people with money. Is that what you're doing? I said, think about it. Even the people with money sooner or later get old, and before they die, they'd like to move down. They don't want no stinking 5 acres. Who's going to cut that doggone grass? They would rather not have that. But the people with money don't want somebody cheap next door to them. They want more space. And there's a lot of reasons. But the people that are here, the older people, need to have that right. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So I said, well, let me see now. If I put 1 lot per 5 acres, that one house has got to take care of the road for 5 acres in front of it. If I had 2 lots per acre, 1 lot per 5 acres, I mean, if I put 1 lot per acre, then I got 5 houses to take care of the road in front of that 5 acres. What if I had 2 lots per acre, which is probably pretty reasonable, by the way. 2.4 is the optimum. But 2 lots per acre. Now I got 2 lots, 5 acres. You see, I got 10 houses that are all going to contribute to fixing that road in front of that 5 acres. Now, you're not going to notice this if you put 1 lot per 5 acres for some time, like Williamson County did. That is crazy. I believe they did that. And what is going to happen is we're about 5 or 6 years away, and all of a sudden it's going to be knocking on the door. The taxes are going up because we don't have enough people paying money to fix the infrastructure. I've seen it so many places. Look, we're largest in the country. I see this a lot of places. It's just a problem. So what do you have as the first issue? You've got this kind of thing. You got let me go back. What you have, let me put it on here. You have a county financial impact. And it is that we have to be careful that we accommodate who? Everybody, the poor people, the rich people, and we plan accordingly. That we plan. Let me tell you what happened in Murray County. Years ago, I had when's my time up? I got how much? 20 minutes left?
We got 13 more minutes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate that. Here's the deal. I went to Murray County and they asked me, the kingpins of the county, in an evening meeting in a bank, after they locked the door. What would happen if they gave me the county? What would I do with it? We called for a special meeting. We had about 180, 190 only public people show up. Fire marshal, all the way down to the garbage disposal people, House of Representatives. And I told them, I said, you need to start the art of seeing planning in a different light. You should always try to plan backwards. Never plan ahead. I hate planning ahead. Plan backwards. What you do is you take the county, fill it full of people, and then ask yourself, where should we have put the roads? Where should we have had the easements? Where should we have the parks? Where should we have done things? If we plan backwards, we can do that by filling it all people. There's no more land left, and we plan back, we fill it all up, and we go from there. And I told him, I said, there's a scripture verse that says that we are planned not for the parents, that the parents are to plan for the children's children. We don't plan for the parents. All the people in this room don't count. And you don't plan for your kids. You plan for the grandkids. A lot of them, they're not even born today. Good planning plans for the grandkids. That's how far out. But that's not how we do it. I'm just telling you what we do in counties. We make major mistakes of sucking up to people or not taking care of the poor or not taking care of the rich. Or we get some people that come in that they have their head screwed on backwards or something. The goal is to be able to plan for everybody and not do this little crummy thing of planning a little bit ahead for the next 10 years. Fill the county, plan backwards, see where everything you wish you'd have had. Where should the roads have been widened? Where should we have done this? Where you know, and then base that. Because when you'll be able to do some trading, I got Murray County that I told him, I said, look, you're going to have 5 more school systems over 100 some acres. Forget the acreage. You should be able to trade with the development committee. Say, look, you give us that. Here's what we'll do for you. You have to have that process to not cost you all this money. Some of the things we do are nuts. Let me tell you the second thing. We have retirees. Wilson County was decent. Murray fought the Del Webb thing. How nuts is that? Why would you do that? These old people, you want the old people. They don't kill nobody. And they put the money in your banks. And they don't have kids unless something went wrong at home, you know. But they generally don't have kids. And with the schools, so not putting kids in the schools. You want the old people around. I wish we had done another Dell website here. I wish there was a way of creating a special planning process to make available land in this geograph, wherever that is, for another huge retirement village. If there's done a certain way. If you ever decide to do that, you get me to come in and I'll come back. Yes.
Mr. Charles, are you speaking specifically to developments targeted for 55 and older?
No, I want to be able to move that way and advertise that and try that and plan for that. But I don't want to have to make it where the guy who's 60 years old and he married this young chick, right? And she's got 2, 3 kids and she can't bring them there. You know, it complicates. You don't have to do that. If you target towards the older folks, you will accomplish the same thing, but there's little flexibility where others can live there as well. So let me take you, but I think that we do a poor job of retirees. And I know you did Del Webb, but I don't think we're doing a good job of retirees here. I'm not trying to be critical. And I don't think that any county in Middle Tennessee is doing a good job. If it wasn't for Del Webb, nothing would have been done here. Wouldn't have been approved, nothing done. You should be able to have a way of talking that out with a committee someday. And you need to drag me over here, kicking and screaming free to help you sit down, talk it out. I know a lot about what I see work in cities and whatever, that there's ways of doing that would be so helpful. And get these older folks come here. Yeah, bring their money. Come on out here. They volunteer, they pitch in. Let me tell you the other one. If you put in a 5-acre deal, and I'm not suggesting you're doing that, 5 acre. The people who own the land today, right here, all 5 acres, get really hit. The first acre of 5 is worth whatever it's worth. The second acre is worth about half of that. And the third acre is worth not much. And the 4th acre is worth darn near nothing. And the 5th acre, you wish you didn't even see that stinking thing. So the guys the people that are here that for years would have liked to have what we did for normal things in terms of lots per acre, they get hurt and they lose money. Sooner or later, the city's going to get caught. And second, you're going to get caught over here. I tell you what, the kids' ability, I had one county here where the county mayor, not by you here, but in Middle Tennessee, asked me one time over lunch, and what I thought, I said, well, just look at the people. Your kids are leaving the county. They're leaving the county. They get old and they're gone. He said, why? Because you don't have a vision. There's no vision here to put families and accommodate everybody. You're not doing that, and they're just leaving. The grandchildren, I'm going to promise you, are not even in planning. There is no county, and I'll promise you here as well, that we're planning for the grandkids. Yes.
Mr. Charles, with our single family lots, we have a 10,000 square foot acre, our 10,000 square foot lot minimum, but the requirements for the development's 15,000 on average. Does that sound reasonable, or?
Ask me the question again.
We have a 10,000 square foot lot minimum size. That's the smallest size we allow, but the average we insist on being 15,000 average across the development.
Yeah. I think a 10,000 minimum square foot lot is unreasonable.
What would you suggest if you were doing it?
Let me tell you what. I have, and let me talk about it from the first buyer market and the old people market. I'm in the old people category, okay? So first buyer market, do you know that they buy the same house? Pretty much. Now, I'm not talking about the ones with a fair amount of money, but those lots are in that 50-foot wide to 55-foot. When you cross over 60, not 60 foot, but 62 feet, it changes the deal. The older folks can afford, I'm not talking about the people with money, but there's a category of people that can't buy at all because the lots have to be less than. So they're run at that 60, 55, 60 foot, 62 maximum, and they'll run at about 110, 150, 120 foot deep. So you're not talking 10,000 square feet. But if we've used 10,000 for a long time, and we think that that's normal, but that's not true. It's just not true. I've not come here to represent anybody. I've come here because I got a friend over here, right? Yes, right there. And not that I don't have others here. So I'm not trying to take any position with anybody. But the answer to the question is that 10,000 square foot minimum size is too big. And he said, well, there's going to be more traffic on. Well, we think that, you see. Maybe not. How big can you go? Well, whatever the guys want to go in terms of lot size. We have a real crisis in the United States right now with the ability to move into homes, and that's going to get worse. Now, I tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't let somebody come in here and just build a stupid subdivision no more. I wouldn't do that. They gotta look good, man. I would be a pain in the butt on the entrances and traffic and how they go and the off ramps. I would do that. And somebody said, well, Mr. Charles, aren't you part of the home building industry? And don't you promote, get rid of all these impact fees? I said, what are you talking about? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So I tend to be at the opposite side of the stick. I think you don't have a choice but to run a county and cities with impact fees. I don't think you have that choice. So what is the goal? It's on the screen. That the parents are to lay up for the children's children. I need for you to listen. I need for you not to see yourself as representing a person or a group. You are there to represent the whole stinking everybody in Ed County, old people, young people, and the first buyer market, which we don't. 10,000 square feet doesn't let them in, but you have to represent them now. But you can't do that in 10,000 square feet. And the older folks have a hard time moving down. Now, I'm not talking about the people with big bucks and made money. There's a whole segment here of the 4 major different kinds of retirees. There's a segment here that has a problem with the inability to buy a new house. I had one, and I'll quit. I had a councilman in a meeting down here, not here, said, Miss Charles, he says, those old people need not to be buying a, they swore, new house. Anyway, they need to just get themselves into an old beater or something. I said, who do you think you are? You dirtbag. I can't believe you're so stupid is to say that you can tell the older folks, which paid for this stinking building, and they paid for those roads, and they paid for those signs out there when you were just in diapers. They did all of that. They brought this market here. Now you come along and tell them when they've gotten older that they have to leave town. It just makes me mad. Honest to God. So I want to leave this with you. Please, you've got to be able to find a way in all your thinking and planning to accommodate everybody. Let me tell you what I do. I give away about 40% of all we do. If you have a committee, Huto set one up that I went and talked to a couple times now. I've been back more than once. How do you accommodate the first buyer market and the retirement market? Not of the people that can go to Del Webb. Most retirees can't go to Del Webb. It's too expensive. How do you accommodate the rest of these people? Are you telling them they have to stay where they're at? Are you telling them they have to leave town? What are you telling them? Because they're not going to come in and argue with you at all. And I'm not even trying to do that at all. Somehow we have to get to the place in all of our planning to plan for the grandkids and to plan for our retirees that can't afford the big houses. Anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me come.
Thank you, sir. All right. Without objection, we will adjourn this workshop.
Okay. I'm going to pick up what